Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about rotary trimmers. So one of the things that I really struggled with was my rotary trimmers. When I first started quilting and sewing, rotary trimmers are just something that you have to have. I was actually kind of afraid to use them because they can be really sharp and you really can hurt yourself with these. But since then, I've come to love my rotary trimmers and I would not sew without them. So let's take a closer look at these. These are the OLFA 45mm Rotary trimmers. They are my all-time favorite. As you can see, I have them in several different colors, even more that I'm about to show you. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at these. I'll show you why I love them and how to use them. So I like the OLFA 45mm trimmer. That is my favorite. So I like them a lot. I've got a lot of different colors here. They're basically all the same except this one. This one is actually a larger one and I'll show you that one up close in a second. And then this one was an anniversary edition, 40th anniversary edition. Now I know there's a lot of different styles out there and I do have a few of those. I'm not going to show you in this video because they're just not my favorites. I have a really hard time using them, but these are super easy. I feel like the blade is nice and sharp and I just really prefer these. So let's take a closer look at what these look like. So here it is up close, and as you can see based on it in my hand, it's relatively good size and it's got kind of a bowed hand grip right here so that it fits nicely in your hand, and these are so easy to use. If you'll notice that the blade is protected, so if I were to accidentally touch this on the end of my fingers, I'm not going to cut myself, and these are very sharp, so you want to be careful. When you're ready to use it, you simply grab this little handle right here, pull it down, and it exposes your blade on both sides, and then you can simply cut with it. When you're done, you just flip it back into position and this blade is now protected again. I really like that feature because that way if I am, having a lot of things on my desk and inevitably I kind of toss one of these, and I cut one and then kind of toss it, if it gets put underneath fabric and I'm grabbing for fabric, I'm not going to accidentally cut myself on the blade. So removing the blade is also very easy. You just pull back on this back one and it releases this. And when you lift this up, now you've got your blade here and you can carefully remove your blade, put a new one on, and it doesn't actually matter which way you put it on. Put that back on and then pop it back on and you have a new blade. So very easy to maneuver, very easy to replace your blades, and just super easy to use. Now let's take a look and see it in action. So I'm just going to grab my cutting board here and a ruler and some fabric. Now, one thing with rotary trimmers is you do want to make sure that you keep your blades nice and sharp. So if you are experiencing your blade digging into your healing mat, or if when you cut you see a line in there with maybe a little bits of your fabric stuck in there, then that's usually a good signal that it's time to replace your blade. You want to make sure you have nice sharp blades in these. It'll be easier on your hands, easier on your cutting board, and easier on your fabric. Now to cut, you're simply going to place your ruler wherever you would like it. You're going to open up your trimmer, and then I run my blade right along the edge of my ruler here. So it's literally butted up against the edge of my ruler, and then you can make your cut. Now one thing that I don't typically do is try and turn it this way because sometimes you can get your hit this blue part. So this is considered the back side of your blade, so you don't really want to do that. So I always have the front side of my blade placing towards my ruler. And if you're left-handed, again, turning the blade towards your ruler and cutting this way. And there you go. Now one thing I do like about these is it has this little serrated grip right here on the both sides, so it doesn't matter if you're right-handed or if you're left-handed, it's not going to matter. And it just gives you a little bit more tactileness so that your finger isn't sliding off and onto this blade, because you definitely don't want that to happen. So I just hold it like this, place my finger right there in that groove that's kind of meant for it, and then just roll my trimmer, and then when I'm done I can close it. So I haven't had any accidents yet with this. I actually think that it's ergonomically very comfortable to use. It's very easy to use. There's not a lot of working parts. It doesn't get stuck or jammed up or anything. Some of the other ones where it has a handle that you have to push and then go, I felt like it was really straining my hand muscles, especially if you're doing a lot of cutting. And also sometimes it would get stuck. So there's not a lot of extra moving parts on this. It's just very simple and easy to use. So let's take a minute just to look at this big boy here. This is the 60mm, and so these are 45. This one is 60. Clearly you can see quite a bit of difference in the size. I will say that I do not use this one quite as much. This one is very large, and I'm only going to be using this if I'm cutting through maybe thicker materials, or sometimes I will use this if I'm sewing clothing and I have a pattern I need to trace around. This can just be really fast and easy for that. One of the cool features about this though is, unlike this one, where if I just pull this, it releases my whole blade. This one actually has dual sides. So I can pull down just one side and put that up, or I can pull down the other side and put that up. This is super handy for right or left-handed sewers. So if I pull down this side, I can easily cut it this way. If I pull down this side, I can easily trim this way. You can also, if you have thicker fabric to get through, something like maybe fleece, you're doing one of those fleece blankets, you can pull down on both of the sides at the same time, and that gives you a little bit more clearance than the 45mm, and you can just go with it. So that is what makes this guy a little bit more unique and special. As you can see, it's quite a bit bigger. He does live over on my pegboard over there, and I only pull him out for special occasions. So let's talk about blades a little bit. So this is just your basic straight blade, and they have two different kinds. They have the regular ones, and then they have endurance blades. The endurance blades cost a little bit more, but they do last longer. So I pretty much stick to endurance blades at this point because I don't like to have to continually be replacing my blade. They also have some other fun blades you can get. So this one over here on the left is the Wave. They've got the scallop and peak, and then they've got the pinking rotary blade. And one nice thing about the blades is they do come in these plastic cases so that you can store them. You can mark them on the front what they are, because I don't think they're marked on here. Then you can just open this container and store your blade in there. If you need just the pinking blade, you can pop that one out, pop it onto your rotary trimmer, and you're good to go. And in my drawer, I have an extra one of these that has old blades in it. So once that blade is tired and old, I'll actually put it in here, toss the one that's in here out, and I'll actually keep my used blade as a backup for any time I am cutting something like fleece or flannel. They can really dull your blades quite a bit, and don't like to use my brand new blades on those. So I just keep a backup of a used blade. Plus, in case anything happens, I always have a spare. All right, guys, that is it for my rotary trimmer review for the OLFA 45mm rotary trimmers. These things are so easy and fun to use, and I love them. As you can see, I have them in like all the different colors that they come in. So I love these. I would love to know what your favorite trimmers are and why. So make sure to leave that in the comments below. That way we can all help each other out in the quilting community. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, as always, please thumbs up, like it, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the things. That way I know to keep making fun videos for you. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time.